Thanks for coming on this morning. There's a lot to talk about, isn't there?
Yeah.
Even in the last 48 hours, loads going on at Spurs. First of all, the situation that's happened. What have you made of it all?
Well, it was quite strange when Conte left and they kept his assistant. Obviously, everybody who knows Conte, the way he played football, is not only the system and the way he tried to play the game, defensive, offensive on the break, or organize, or 5-2-3, or whatever. Is the passion, the communication, the pressure, the way, the personality that he put in the dressing room in every minute in the club. And what Tottenham done was to leave his assistant with more or less the same ideas, but without that part of Conte that everybody knows, the personality. So it was like a test. Let's see if the players they can perform better with the same way, but without the pressure. Well, we saw the game on the weekend, no? I think it was confirmed that the test didn't work very well, no?
That was the thing I was going to ask you, Gus. You could talk about formations, you could talk about 5 at the back, talk about 4, you could talk about formations till the cows come home. The one thing that I think the Spurs fans are really upset about it, and I get it, was the attitude and what they saw in terms of the level of commitment from the players. I mean, surely it doesn't matter whether you're playing a 5 or a 4 or a 3. You should not be 5-0 down after 20 minutes.
No, especially if you're at Tottenham. I think there is always, and I accept the responsibility of the coach, but we know, everybody knows, especially the ones that we play football, that also start by yourself. Yourself as a player, as a professional. When you go on the pitch, you are not thinking who is the coach. I didn't, at least. I don't know. I was just trying to give my best and die for the club and do everything possible to stop. And it was scary. I don't know. I tell you one thing. I was watching the game, and the 5-0. I turned my head away like I didn't want to watch anymore.
Yeah.
It looked like I felt embarrassed.
Yeah.
Myself, sitting at home. Imagine the fans at the tower to Newcastle or the way they were watching. So they are difficult moment for the coach as well. You need to stand in there, take responsibility. And sometimes, we ask for something different. So it's going to be tough for the next coach at Tottenham. It's going to be very difficult. It's not that easy. Big decisions to make, strong decisions about the player, who to keep and how to get away from the club.
Gus, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. Let's just pretend you're applying for jobs, and there's 3 available: Brighton, Chelsea and Spurs. They've all offered you the job. Which is the more promising?
Look, it's a very good question. If you asked me this 5 years ago, I would say to you Chelsea easily, because what I get is clear the message from Abramovich, and everything for me is go in there and win. See you later. Then how is up to me. Okay. Now I would like to talk to the owners. I know Tony Bloom very well. I know Daniel Levy quite well. I don't know the new owner of Chelsea. So it's a matter of knowing him, because it's important. I always say to people, when you go to an interview with the owners or with the sport directors, it's a two-way interview. It doesn't work only one way. It's not me going in there and say yes, no, maybe, well, this is my way. But I'm also ask questions. I want to know them. I want to know who I'm working with. I want to know what is the objective. If it's realistic, if I'm going to be happy there and having everything I need to go and perform and do well. And if I feel it's not the right owner or the right sport director, I will be saying the opposite. No, thank you very much, but I'm not interested. It doesn't matter the club. I want to go with all the options to do well. If you go in a place where you're not feeling that, I'm not going to have an opinion on signings. I'm not going to have an opinion on this player who finished contract and the club doesn't want me to play him. I'm not going to have, I prefer to stay home. I promise you. It's very simple for me. Now, I know my situation allows me to do that, my personal situation, financial situation. Yeah. I totally respect the people that want to work because it's their career, their life, their families. But that's the way I choose to my life. And I need to have that looking at the eye of the owner and knowing yes, I want to work for this guy. I know my relationship with Tony Bloom, it was exceptional. It was terrific. I knew that I can count on him on October, asking for one player for January. He will get me that player, not the name, the characteristic of the player.
Mm-hmm.
You know how nice it for the coach to feel that way and not to wait until January and say, they're coming 2? Oh, maybe they're coming 4. Oh, no, there are 6 new players. And you go, oh, and now I got 30 to train with. It's tough. It's very difficult. It's not the same way.
Gus, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, I think the success story of Brighton, not even this season, I'm talking the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years when they were playing at the Withdean Stadium, the story of Brighton's fantastic. But if you're a coach getting into either Spurs or Chelsea, they're two, in my opinion, I'd like to know your opinion, two completely different jobs, because I think at Spurs, the first thing you're going to probably think about doing is having a clear out, if possible, and getting a good few new faces in. Whereas at Chelsea, I think there's a better quality of player there, albeit maybe too many of them.
No doubt. I totally agree with you. That's what I said before. The decisions at Spurs, they are more difficult than the decisions that the new coach is going to have to make at Chelsea. And that's with a clear out. Is which players you want to count on, which players you can get to play. I suppose the way you would prefer to play is the option to bring new players. At Chelsea is the other way. It's just to really convince the players, because you got everything. You got experience, you got pace, you can play 4, you can play 3, you can play 2. I mean, it's so many options in there. Obviously, there is youth as well. I think that's the main thing for everybody be talking about Mauricio Pochettino. You know, he done terrific at Southampton with the youth, with the young players. He brought plenty of Spurs as well. And so maybe that's the idea of the owner, to bring a coach that he got a reputation to work with young players and not like Simon was saying, just to win, which is a different type of manager.
Yeah.
So I think it's clever in a certain way. Now, if you ask me as well, 1 week ago, who is the best coach for Tottenham now? I say Pochettino.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Chelsea, okay, let me see who is free, who can come. What do you want to win, or to bring the young and to create a culture or something? So we need to know what is the objective of Chelsea for the next few years.
Yeah, Gus, thank you. Brilliant.
Gus,
lovely to have you on.
mate.
Thank you for all of that. Really
Thank
great
you
conversation. Take care.
care.
Yeah. Gus Poyet there.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.